The Joe Rogan Experience.
Dude, how about fucking Cowboy Conor?
That's a very good fight. It's a
Long
perfect
time overdue, right?
Perfect time for it too.
Me too. I
I
agree.
I like how Cowboy's fighting now. He's so calm and relaxed in there.
He's lost his last two, but
Yeah,
they were
but-
to the top, top of the heap.
Yeah, I mean, he fought Gaethje, who I think
Nightmare
is
matchup,
the
huh?
scariest fucking guy in the division right now. He scares me because Gaethje's like it's like he's on a suicide mission. It's like either he's gonna go or you're gonna go, and a lot of people say that, but they don't really mean it.
Agree.
He fucking means it, and
means it.
he's backed off of that a hair. So he's still controlled wildness.
If you say he's a brawler, he does not like it.
I don't think he necessarily is. I
He's
think
not.
what he is, he's wild, but it's intelligent pressure.
It's controlled chaos.
Yes, it's
And he's-
better than ever.
And he has a great chin,
Yes.
phenomenal wrestling. knockout
Having
power.
those fights where it didn't go his way because of the chaos, I think is just making him be just a little bit more calculated.
Agree.
Just a little bit.
A little
That's
more
all he needs.
cerebral.
Dude, when he fucked up Barboza, I was like, Jesus
Christ.
Who does that
here's
to
the thing, though,
Barboza?
because I thought Gaethje's kind of left out in the cold with all these matchups being announced with Khabib, Tony, Conor, Cowboy. Khabib's kind of left out. Where he's just like, all right, the fuck do we do now, man?
Yeah, Gaethje is a little bit left out in the cold, but not
Did I
really.
say Khabib or Gaethje?
You said Gaethje and then you said Khabib
Oh,
later.
all right,
but
word.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Gaethje is a little bit left out, but if anybody gets injured, he's right in there. See, like we're in this weird place where we're pretending these fights are all going to happen. We hope and pray.
Dude, don't
that
you jinx
Khabib
it.
and Tony, we hope and pray that Cowboy and Conor actually make it to the dance, but they might not make it to the dance.
It's
so if
nature of the
somebody
sport.
doesn't make it to the dance, guess who gets a phone call? Justin Gaethje.
Or Masvidal.
Or Masvidal, but Masvidal's 170. These guys
Yeah,
are
I'm saying
55.
for Conor.
Oh, for Conor.
Because that fight, Conor versus Cowboy's at welterweight?
Yes.
Which when it was first announced, I was like, oh, at 55, man, that's a tough fight for Cowboy. Slow starter. Connor's a finisher, comes out the gates like a fucking banshee.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother texted me and goes, man, it's at welterweight? I'm like, why the fuck would they do that?
Because Conor doesn't want to lose any weight.
Oh,
Listen, dude, I think that guy tortured himself to get down to 45 so hard. And when you looked at what he looked like when he was on the scale, when he was flexing, he looked like a goddamn zombie.
a skeleton.
It was horrible. So I think whether he complains or not about that, nobody rides for free. You do that to your body for a couple of years, you're doing some fucking damage, and it makes it harder to lose the weight afterwards, right? So then he's going up to 55. He's obviously elite at 55, wins the title at 55, has the great rematch with Diaz at 70, right? And then comes back and fights Khabib at 55 again and gets mauled. He has a fight with Cowboy. He's really a 55er that can fight welterweight. That's the right size for him. Versus, I don't think Nate is fighting 55 at any time in the future anymore.
No.
He's
Nate-
too big now.
He's too big, but my only issue with at 70, and I would assume his team decided to do it at 70, is when I look at Conor McGregor as a welterweight, is his power the same as it was at 45 and 55? Is his timing the same? His speed?
No, but he's fighting a guy who I think in his eyes is not really a welterweight.
You think, 55, because he did most of his work at 55?
Because I think he thinks of Cowboy as the guy who'll fight at 170, but he's really a 55er.
That's fair. My only issue with that is, and I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan. Obviously, Cerrone's a friend of mine, so I just want him to have a great fight. But when people were complaining about this fight, when the internet's like, it's whatever to me, I think it's a phenomenal fight because I think if you're a Cowboy fan, I always said Cowboy was too much of a company man. The UFC and Dana would go, cut weight, dude, fight this fight, do this, quick turnaround, right? Cowboy, the legend of Cowboy was born. He's jumping out fucking ships and whatever the hell. He's riding fucking bulls and whatever the fuck he was doing the week of the fight.
Yep.
And he was killing himself to make weight. And I just went, does it ever work out for anybody who's a yes man to the UFC? Not really. But now we've seen it's worked out for Cowboy because this is his. I don't put too much into titles anymore. Like, this is Cowboy's title shot. You got the biggest fight in the game. You're fighting Conor McGregor. You're gonna make millions of dollars. This is the golden goose. If you talk to Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington, Masvidal, Khabib, Tony, maybe not those two, but if you talk to anyone, who do you want to fight? Everyone says Conor because it's the biggest fight you can get in the game. Cowboy got it by being he's paid his dues, he's earned it, he's getting millions and millions of dollars, win, lose or draw. It's a good fight for Cowboy.
I think they should make a red panties night belt.
That'd be cool.
Whoever gets to fight Conor, you get a red panties night belt.
Because the belts are whatever now, you know?
Yeah.
Because like think about
hire some like super hot actress to wear them for a day.
Oh, dude, I would love that. And they win those. That'd be so sick.
But a belt with like framed red panties in it.
That'd be so dope.
I think he's, Conor's calculated in his comeback. And I think this is a smart fight for him because he's not fighting someone who's too big, right? Where I feel like, that was the argument about Nate. Even though Nate did, of course, fight at 55 for a long time.
Nate's a big dude,
He's a big dude. And then there's some other guys that want to fight him at 170 that are real 170s. Like Masvidal is a perfect example of that. Masvidal was a 155 for a long time, but he's not anymore. If you look at his frame, like you go look back when he fought like Michael Chiesa, which was like 2013, 14, somewhere around that, right? So Masvidal back then was like a skinny guy, man.
Yeah,
he was
real skinny.
He wasn't defined.
Wasn't a man yet almost.
Well,
like he grew into his body.
He was also killing himself to make 55, right? And you can't pack on any weight, can't put in any muscle. When he went up to 170, we got to see who he really is. We knew who he really was before. I mean, he knocked out Eve Edwards in Bodog fight.
Old school.
Remember that?
Yeah, and that was when Eve was a monster.
Eve was probably the best 55-pounder in the world.
People forget about that too.
They do forget.
But one of the reasons why I was trying to think why they would do it at 70, I think you're right where Cowboy is a natural 155. He's not a huge welterweight. But the other thing is now that Conor fights at 70, now he has options. He can play in 70, he can play at 55.
Right.
In 70, and I know his team wants to do it, and his manager told me this, Masvidal told me this, they want to be the co-main event against Nick Diaz, and they want the Conor fight.